Hi, my name is Mike. Thanks for joining me today on my channel, Technically Church, where I share over 20 years of experience in audio, video, lighting, and multimedia. You can always find out more on my website at technicallychurch.com. Let's jump in. Today we're going to talk about gain versus trim on the Behringer WING. So today I'm on the Behringer WING full-size console. This applies to any firmware version, but I am on firmware 3.0.5, but it is on everything. So on some channels, most channels, you'll have gain and you'll also have trim. So I'll show you here. I'm just on my computer here, which is channel 40, and you see I have a gain and I have a trim. So what is the difference? Some of you may never have seen a trim before. On some of the older consoles or an analog console, you wouldn't have trim. Gain specifically is the preamp. So most people will be familiar with the preamp. Every soundboard has a preamp in the physical connector. Most cases is an XLR connector. There's a preamp in there, which is a piece of circuitry that actually has the capability of, gaining up or down the signal that you're giving it. So in the case of a microphone, you need to bring the microphone level up to line level so that everything matches. So your ultimate goal on your console is to get each signal source gained to what we call nominal gain. Nominal gain can be different on every console as far as the number. On the Behringer WING, it appears to be about negative 18. But it's typically is, if you look at this meter here, is right where the green meets the yellow. That would be nominal gain, and that is your target for each channel. So during a sound check, what you're going to want to do is have each band member play individually. I try to encourage them to play at what I call their loudest level. Typically when they sound check, they'll just kind of barely strum. And then when they get in front of people and they're playing a loud chorus, they're playing way louder. So I try to get them to play that loud level. And you're trying to get every channel to that nominal gain. So if you get everything gained at that level, it makes it way easier to mix. And you don't have certain channels that you can't get enough out of, certain channels that you have too much. So that's gain. Okay, that's adjusting the actual preamp in the console. The trim is essentially digital gain. Okay, it's not actually adjusting the preamp. It's kind of trimming your fader. So if you don't like where your fader's at, or if you need a little more or a little less of a specific fader for whatever reason in comparison to everything else, you can trim it up or down. You have to do this in the right order though. You need to do the gain first and the trim second. So sometimes, if I feel like my fader is sitting a little too high and I don't like that in comparison to everything else, I'll trim it up a little bit, which will allow me to bring my fader down. This is more of a preference thing or just to get things balanced. But here's an example of why you would want to do it in the right order. You can overgain your channel and you can clip it, right? If it starts going into the red, it'll be clipping, it'll sound distorted, but then you can trim it down and your visual gain will look correct. It will not be in the red, but it still will be clipping. It will sound like it's clipping, and that may be confusing. So if you do it in the wrong order, you can get yourself out of whack. So set the gain first, then set the trim if necessary. It's just a digital gain of moving that volume signal up or down. Thanks for joining me today. Again, my name is Mike. You can always find out more on my website, technicallychurch.com, or on my YouTube channel, Technically Church. Look forward to seeing you soon.